opportune. Both since the COVID, we are not able to meet, but we are connected through virtually. And my attempt will be to help you. My attempt over this class will help you how to know about the communication skills and things. And as an academic counselor, I'll be helping you in those you have any problem, like any questions, or you have already gone through the book. And I believe that you have already gone through the book and you have certain questions. And any questions regarding the assignment also we can discuss, though you have already submitted that. But uh, this may help you in your final meeting or final exam. And for English, you don't have any Viva or practical class. It is 100% theory class. Okay, let's start from our block one. Okay, I have made some screenshot or something like that to introduce here, to explain, to elaborate our course. Well, unit one, we are starting through the process of communication. What is the communication? Communication is exchanging or expression or conveying your masses to other people, your ideas, your information, the information, ideas, opinions, your logics, or your any sort of any piece of news that you are sharing to the other people is a communication. And if we can define is communication is a process of meaningful interaction. It's a it's a way of meaningful interaction between the between or among the people, with with a view to arriving the common meaning and understanding. It means in your communication, there should be the meaningful understanding, or there should be any sort of sense while you are exchanging your opinion or idea or message or news, whatever you are doing. So that is called communication. We can define in that way, though this is knowing the definition of communication is not that much important. Well, and basically there are two types of communication we can define. Method of communication or process of communication is one is spoken communication, which is we are currently, and another is written communication. And sometimes while we are doing the same both communication, especially in the spoken communication, we may have the gestural communication, like body gesturing. You have to use the sign language or gesture. You move your hands, you move your you show the some sort of sign that can be used while we are speaking. So this is the process of communication, we can say. Well, like if we talk about the spoken communication, it's a more easy or a more effective. So the speaker and audience, or encoder or decoder, they can understand the thing on the spot, so that you don't have any doubt. And if there any sort of misunderstanding or doubts or confusion, that can be resolved on the spot. So in order to provide the information very quick, like in an emergency situation, so the spoken communication is more significant, whereas the written communication is basically for documentation process, or if you have to send a message, or if you have to write, if you have to mention those discussion or those important points for record or for documentation perspectives, that is written communication is more effective, such as the writer. We can take an example through the writers, like poet, novel writer, and a story writer. Whatever they write, the piece of literary, and they we communicate through their writing. For example, if you are reading a novel, if you are reading a story, you are communicating with the
writer of that novel, or even if you are communicating with the characters, whatever the characters, the writer mentioned the different characters in there, and they convey their messages, and through that you communicate. So in a written communication you have sufficient time to understand what the writer is trying to convey, whereas in the spoken communication you have certain time that you have to capture, that you have to understand. And yeah, there may be that you the spoker speaker may not repeat the same information. And while talking about the communication, the methods of communication, there are also barriers. The barriers like code, the certain codes are used based on the certain if we are like you are from IT background, you are from means computer background. Since this is your BCA business computer, you are related to the computer or IT. Those who are non the student from non IT may have a certain kind of trouble while using the certain words, like the students from economic, they are using the certain words, like for customer they use consumers, like for farmers they say producer. Like these are the certain codes. Like in your IT, in your computer class also, you use the certain words for your class, for your course. So that can be the barrier for the people who are not from certain background. And language, yeah, of course, and another very important barrier of communication is the language while we are speaking in the non-native language, like we are basically from a Hindi background, or we are native speaker Hindi, but if we are communicating in English or any other third language, another language, our pronunciation or our uh, certain words, vocabs may be the different. We cannot pronounce like the native speaker. That is also another barrier. And a culture, in certain cultures like a Hindu culture, Muslim culture, Christian culture, they do have a certain cultural background and cultural beliefs. And if you are not aware about that, that can be the barrier. Like physical environment, like surrounding is chaos or like crowded, and in that time it may come the barrier, physical environment. And beliefs, as I said earlier, we have certain beliefs based on our culture, based on our religion, based on our region, also based on our location. Like the people who still stay in the northern part of India, and those, though they are Hindu, or though they are Muslim, though certain uh, culture background, but they may have the way of doing certain type of tasks the people from south part of India. Means
The person, a person is a Hindu who is from Himachal Pradesh, may have a different perspectives or beliefs, even if they are worshipping the gods, than the person who is from South India and he south part of India. And the same person, maybe the two person from the same religion or same country. So that beliefs may be the different. And pronunciation, as I said, pronunciation, while we are pronouncing the another language, we may have the pronunciation problem, like accent. These are some examples of barriers for communications. And if we talk about the different types of communications, like as I said earlier, like oral communication, written communication, and gestural communication is also considered as different type of communication. But once more, body gesture or sign language may be part of oral communication. For example, if you are showing the location, or if you are showing the direction to some stranger or some person, you will show your hand location. Or if you are showing the traffic signal, or you are about to take any type of traffic signal, you may show your body, you may show your hand for the traffic signal. That can be also for while you are doing while you are During that type of communication, your body gesture, showing the hands in a different posture, it can be at that time a communication to the other people or to the decoder. So these are the various methods of communication we can say. And written and oral communication, there are the certain difference, there are the certain uh, positive parts, or there are certain importance of each type of communication, written and oral communication. And what is the types of face-to-face communication, face-to-face communication or face-to-face interaction also, like though for example we are connected through virtually through Google Meet, we are communicating, I'm speaking and you are listening, but this type of communication is not is different than face-to-face communication. Face-to-face communication, what happens is you can see the person or encoder a body or facial expression, the way the person, the way that he's trying to convey the masses. And through that, and first of all you will take a time of 1 or 2 minutes to understand how the person is speaking, to understand the tone of that person first of all. And after that you understand, you slowly you understand what the person is trying to say. For example, in a in conference, a speaker is there and the speaker is presenting his paper, his or her paper. At that moment you will understand what the person is trying to say in first 1 or 2 minutes. After that you will understand the tone of that person. Then you will start communicating, means you will start understanding that person. This is also one of the face-to-face communication. Likewise in a customer, in a customer service, and you are a shopkeeper, or you are a person who provide the service, goods and service to the customer, and the customers come, uh, and they ask for something, or they show their problem, they tell their problem. And at that moment you will uh, say something to your customer or to your client, and that communication would be more effective. But face-to-face communication, different types of like, like other conversation, maybe the face-to-face communication, like meetings, seminars, as I said, conference. In a meeting also, you'll be one of the participants of that meeting, and you will communicate among the meeting members in that meeting. And the different persons, they will express their opinions, ideas, or any kind of information in there. You will still you will face to face, you will be face to face, but you should have to follow the certain protocol of that meeting, while you are expressing your idea, or while you are condemning, or you are disputing, or disagree with the points. Likewise, in the seminar, or in a conference also, certain presenter will be there, they will present their paper, or they will present their ideas, whatever, and you'll have a time to clear your doubts. That is also another example of face-to-face communication. So, and next point that comes under your process of communication is characteristics and convention of conversations. And characteristics, or the features, we can say characteristics or habits or convention of communication. Main motive or objective of any sort of communication is being polite and cooperative. Either it is oral communication or written communication. This is what the characteristics or the features of any type of conversation. So while you are communicating, while you are sharing your ideas or information or news, you must be very cooperative to the audience, and very polite. And in the sense that it works in a both way. While the speaker is speaking, you don't have to ask the questions, or you don't have to raise your hand for the doubt, but you will have to follow the certain protocol. Like the speaker will tell you that how long time he or she will be taking, and after that how she or he will allow to ask the any type of questions or doubt in that. So there should be very cooperative in both parties, the speaker and audience. The speaker will audience must respect the speaker, and a speaker must be very polite to the audience while they are asking the, any doubts or any questions or disagree. And speaker, while the speaker is telling or expressing ideas, let him or her finish the presentation, whatever he's saying. And once he or she will allow you to ask the question, at that time you can ask any questions you have, and you can agree with the points, and you have any doubt you can ask. And if you are not agree with the points that the speaker has said, at that moment the speaker should not should not behave like the he knows all, or like boss. He should be very polite while answering. And even if the even if the audience are or is not mm, convinced with the ideas or point he had said, you must be very polite while explaining, while answering their questions. And another process of communication is conversational problem of second or foreign language users. See, another process while we are communicating rather than our native speaking, we may have a problem like tone, using of the stress. Stress means, stress makes the stresses make our accent different. It's the only stress that make our accent different. Means the people from UK have a different accent, the people from US have different accent, and the people from Australia have different accent. Because see, the same words are pronounced differently. Originally, US we have three accents in English. We can say UK accent, US accent, and Australian accent. Rather than there are other people, or the other English accent are not primary accents like these three. So, considering among three, UK accent or British accent is the old and traditional English accent, and which is more polite and more uh, good to listen. In fact, because like if you listening any Hindi, if the person is completely speaking in a Hindi, you would find the person is very polite, because the person is speaking in Hindi and Hindi words only, and you would find somehow you may have difficult to understand what the person is saying, but that is the exact word. These are the exact words the person is saying in Hindi. Likewise, in the UK accent or British accent also, they are using real words or exact word for that particular masses of particular information. And you may find it difficult, but the tone of you British tone or British accent is more polite or more understandable than other accent like US accent. US accent is not that much sweet, we can say, like UK accent. And US accent is easy to understand than UK accent, because US is multi-dimensional society, we can say, multicultural society. The people from throughout the world are in US. And people, especially the talented people, go US. And this is also called the land of opportunity. And they have a very good policy in terms of while they are defining the democracy. If you have to go US, you have certain uh, skills, like you are going US for higher education, or for like skill job, like for software engineer, or for your higher study, which is how they are inviting the talent people throughout the world. So which is why they have multicultural. Stress or their accent is more understandable, more easy to understand than other, such as UK or Australian English, or Australian accent is somehow coarse, we can say. It's a you may find direct. They are very directive while they are telling in the information. They don't use the any sort of polite word, or they don't intend to provide the share while they are communicating. They don't use the polite words likewise in UK accent. And for example, if you're asking, may I know, may I please know, could you please? Instead of asking these, they directly, what is the problem? Why this is happening? This is their communication. This is their accent. It doesn't mean that they are being rude, but they are very directive in terms of their accent, we can say. So these are the major three accent, English accent. And the people, we are from India, and we are speaking English, and we have our accent, and especially we have Indian accent while speaking in English. And the people from China, they have a different, they have Chinese type of accent while they are speaking in English. So may have a difficult to understand if a speaker is from foreign language, is the second language speaker for that uh, communication or language. So this is also another problem for in the process of communication or in the communication. And that's another thing of communication skill is difference between conversation and other speech event. What are the differences between conversation? Conversations is interaction. In conversation means interaction where you are exactly talking to the person. Conversation you are talking, and where are the other speech events like meeting, seminar, conference, where you all the people in that meeting or in that seminar or in that convention may not present their or may not speak, but the most of the people in most of the attendee are audience. So there will be difference, like difference between face-to-face communication. Face-to-face communication, or while you are talking in face-to-face communication, you have a certain thing that you want to make clear. So you are asking, and you are while you are having the face-to-face communication, you can judge or gauge the mood of the speaker, how the speaker is answering. If you are, for example, if you went to SBI Bank and how the employee of SBI Bank will reply you, and if, when you go to any private bank and how the employee of that bank will reply you can judge that face-to-face communication. Even the person is answering your questions, they may not look at your face, rather than they are just answering you. Face-to-face communication, like which in the other bank, if you go to the private bank service and you are asking the question, the employee or staff will look at your face, answer the question, answer the all questions. After that, he will ask you any other question. But if you contact your SBI customer service, they will ask you a lot of questions and they will understand. That's the difference. I'm just telling you the difference between face-to-face communication. That can also be the face-to-face communication. And other type other type of space event, that being an audience or the decoder, the difference. Okay. You can read all these informations, or please go through the what is communication, process of communication, barrier of communication, macro function of communications, and different types of communication and convention are the different difference between written and oral communication. Go through the book once and you will get lots of examples and lots of definition. Okay, I'm not taking more time for this. And for your examination point of view, you may have a question: what is communication, and what is the difference between written and oral communication? You may have this question of 10 marks. Let's move towards unit 2. It's about telephonic techniques. In unit 2, we will be talking about so what are the telephonic technique, what we have to do to while we are calling someone or while we are answering to someone. Since it is different from face-to-face communication, and in fact this is uh, one of the example of oral communication. In telephonic communication, if you are calling, first of all you will greet saying that good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You will greet the person using the part of day, and you will start with the personal connection. Personal connection means, since nowadays it has been added in our communication, and while we are introducing hello, good morning, or hi, good morning, my hope you are doing well. Okay, hope you are doing well. Say, okay, hello, good morning, my name is this, and I hope you are doing well. And then you will mention the reason of your calling, you why you are calling. And likewise, in the listening or while you are receiving the call, you will greet, hi, this is how, hi or hello, and good afternoon, and you will introduce. Then you will ask why the calling. If you are receiving the call, and while you are in the conference call, uh, before that, I will tell you some other examples, some other uh, models words. Yeah, while calling or receiving the call, we have to use the certain models. Models means, in another words, models are auxiliary verbs. Models, the models are will, may, might, can, could, would, shall, should, ought to. These are the models. And using the models makes your sentences or make your conversation more polite than just using the direct words like WH questions, open questions. Like if you're asking a person his name, okay, you can say, what's your name? Or you can say, may I know your name? Okay, may I know your date of birth? You can ask. So asking the same way, same question, the objective or intention is the same, but the asking someone regarding the question is different. Like, may I know your date of birth? May I know where are you from? You can ask. Or what's your date of birth? Where are you from? So you can ask the same. The answer or the approach is different, but the answer you'll get the same. So if you are using the may models like may, your conversation will be more polite than you are asking the direct questions. So while you are in uh, telephonic conversations, I would suggest you use the models words to make your conversation more polite, especially if you are talking to the customer or clients. You should have to show your respect over the call. So over the face-to-face conversation, you have sufficient time to express your body language, your facial structure, and how helpful you are on the face-to-face conversation. But in the over telephone telephonic conversation, you have to show that you are willing to help. You have to show you are helpful, knowledgeable, everything. You have to show over the telephone conversations while you are talking to a person. You have to show through these things, through your tone, through your language, your politeness, through your expression, through your tone, through your accent. You have to include all things while you are over the call. But in the face-to-face communication, you can easily, even if you are not that much knowledgeable or you don't know about that issue the customer is asking you, you will say that, okay, exactly, I'm not about this. Let me confirm with my manager or something. On face-to-face conversation, that person, your customer client will understand that, yeah, you are going to help asking the you are going to help him, asking with the manager or asking for any special exception or any permission from higher authority. So you are showing your helpfulness to your customer client, but in over phone. But how would you do that? Yeah, of course, you will be very polite, and you have to give your assurance that you are going to help, and at the same time you have to buy a time from the customer,
and tell what you are doing for him. So means if you know the answer, yes, certainly you go and help the customer. And while you know the answer, you have to show that you are very willing to help, confidence, and a very positive, just not like a transactional. Transactional conversation and helpful conversation is different. Transactional conversation means the customer or client call, you receive the call, and you help the person. The person was happy because you helped. In that is just transactional communication. Means you are not doing some different than a bot can do. You know, currently we are mostly most of the organizations they are adopting the bot. The bot, what the bot or robot do? The customer contact, they will help, that bot will help the customer go. And because the customer, see, in that conversation or in that process, the customer got what he wanted through the bot. But since the customer is connect to a human beings, you have to be more helpful or not being transitional like a bot, like a robot. So this is how you have to show those things
in your conversation, like using the models and asking the time if you need more more time to help the customer. Okay, these are the some models you can use. Like you can see on your book page number 24, 25 also. There are some examples. Likewise, in your book page number 26 and 27, you need to know of using the models. And the next thing about telephonic conversation is conference call. What is conference call? Conference call, this is Google Meet is one of the example of conference call. Those though it's not over the telephone, like we are not picking up phone or call, but we are listening through the virtual meeting. This is one of the example of conference call. And in this, where we meet the virtually, and we have the different agenda, like in a conference call may have a different agenda as per the business requirement. In telephonic conversations, if the person you got a call from a customer or from a client, that the person actually wanted to meet or wanted to talk to someone else from your organization, maybe you are secretary of your company boss, you are the secretary, and your boss is out of town or he's busy, he or she is busy on a meeting, and you receive the call, and you'll tell the caller that the Mr. the person, your boss name, Mr. Gupta is busy at this moment. He's in an important meeting with some of the business clients, and I would request you to leave a message so that I can arrange a call back, or you can ask and call us after 30 minutes. Whatever the message you have, you can convey to your clients or customer who is calling. Or while we are receiving the call, what you do is you'll first introduce. Also, you page number 32. Or you are receiving a call on the behalf of someone else. That person is out of office or is busy on some kind of business meeting. So at that time, how do you receive the call? So of course, first you will okay, you will introduce yourself. Okay, my name is this. If you are speaking with clients or customer on the behalf of your organization, you will say good morning, hello, good morning. My name is this, and welcome to your organization name, ABC company. How may I help you today? This is how you will start your conversation. And the person says that yeah, my name is this, and I'm calling to talk to Mr. Gupta. And if you know the person who is calling, okay, you can give the more specific answer, or if you do not know the person who is calling to your boss, you can tell that, okay, so yeah, the or Mr. Gupta is in important meeting, or Mr. Gupta is just out of town, or he's just out of office at this time. However, you can leave a message so that I can convey. And this is how you can make a form. You can prepare a format message from message for whom, name of the caller, time of call, subscription number, phone number, nature of query, and a message. What is the message? Or nowadays, as I said, the most of the organization, they are adapting the technology like bot. Means when we are calling, we have to speak with the IVR first. We have to select a certain IVR number to reach out to the certain department. IVR also, what the IVR does is, when we are calling, he will listen the IVR, means I mean the bot will listen message, and when you are calling, your name will appear in that organization database. If you are already a client or customer for that time of call, the bot will record that, your subscription number, like your phone number. If you're calling to Vodafone, and you will calling through that number, and once you call, the bot will check in that database if you are already a customer for that or not. And they do have a certain internal number, subscription number, or phone number. And nature query, you will select the IVR selection and a message. What is the message for that? And after that, if the bot cannot resolve the problem, that will transfer to a representative, to a human representative. Otherwise, your problem is resolved. Like if you are recharging, if you are recharging your mobile phone or your TV, you can do through the IVR also. You can select the certain IVR number, and through that you can perform that task over the phone using of with the help of bot. So this is how you can make a note. Sorry, you can write the important uh, thing of that conversation, of that telephonic conversation. If the person is calling to speak someone else, and another thing I wanted to focus is the using of the grammar. This is English class, and while I'm talking about this, I have to consider about telling you the grammar. And in unit 1, if I talk about your sentences will be the present tense. Most of your sentences will be in the present tense, because you are just explaining the things. You're not explaining or writing about a history or any events, so that your conversation or your answer will in the affirmative. Like most of the sentence will be in the present tense. And in unit 2 here, the grammar focus is using of WH question. WH questions are the questions start with WH: whom, who, where, when, how, whose, what, why. And these are also called the open questions. WH question are also called the open question, and the closed question, like question tag, like closed question asking. There are two type of question, open question and a closed question. The answer of closed question will the answer of open question may be anything as per the situation. If someone asks you where are you from, you can answer that person with a multiple answer. Depends on the situation and place or the circumstances, you can change your answer. Where are you from? I'm from Asia, I'm from India, I'm from Delhi, I'm from my parents. This is how you can answer for that same question, based on the situation circumstances. Whereas the closed question, if someone is asking the same question, like, are you from India? You can say yes or no. Are you from Delhi? Yes or no. This is how you can answer in either yes or no. So this is closed question. Okay, while in the over the telephone conversation, you may have to use the open question and a closed question to confirm with the customer clients. And a contracted while you are writing or while you are speaking over the telephone, you may have to use the contracted, like I want, okay, that does not, okay, like somehow while we are pronouncing the contracted, there won't be the different, but while we are writing, there will be different. Means, I mean to say, that does not, we are using that doesn't, okay, that won't, will not, that will not help you, that won't help you, I didn't do that, I did not do that. Instead of saying, I did not do that, you can say, I didn't. This is how we can use the contracted while we are on telephonic conversations. These are the certain techniques. Let me repeat telephonic conversation techniques like using of you have to greet using the parts of day, introduce, and after that you can have the personal connection. Personal connection, it doesn't mean that you're asking about the family or other background. It's a personal connection. I mean to say that you can hope you are doing well, hope you are doing fine, and then you have to ask your main concern why you're calling, or you can ask to this the person who is calling why the person is calling. Meaning, in a conference call, what are the things are required in conference call. For conference call, you can go through your book and you can see lots of example in them, and which are not relevant nowadays. In fact, it's mentioned about the telephone or in tools, technologies required, and of course we know all these things. And nowadays we do not have conference call most of the time over the telephone, but we have conference call through the virtual meeting like Google Meet, Zoom, and other um, company provided those meeting tools. And while you were writing a message or while you were leaving a message, we also did practice for that. And another thing, we talk about the using of open and closed questions. These are mostly used while we are on telephonic conversations. And after that, we have unit 3, where we'll be practicing about, where I will show you how to apply for a job and how to prepare for interview, job application. And this is more specific how you can apply for any job. Application process. First of all, you see lots of vacancy through the different means of communications. Vacancy means of communication means that on newspaper, you can see that vacancy announcement on newspaper or online portal like Naukri.com, Monster.com. These are the online portal where we can find the advertisement. Or you may hear that your friend from your friends or from your colleague that there is vacancy announcement through the reliable source in any organization, especially in the private organization. They may hire the people through reference. Whereas in the government organization or government offices, they properly announce, like they announce this such vacancy through means of communication like on newspaper, on television, on through radio or their internal website. This is how they do. While you you will search the job, while you are looking for the job, you will select a certain category. Your category means your requirement, and your requirements are your category on the based on your education and your interest, of course. And you see the vacancy announcement. This is one of the example. If you are looking at my screen, I'm sharing it. This is from unit 3, one of the vacancy XYZ company, internal memorandum. This is internal memorandum. Okay, this is a memo. This is one of the example of memo. Okay, this is the internal announcement instead of that, I will show you a different one. Oh, sorry. The first one. Okay. This is also the vacancy, one of the example of vacancy announcement. How this is sales executive now for a leading multinational company. Okay, this is a vacancy. We are looking for excellent salespeople with a proven track record of selling our full range of customer durable products. See, from first sentence, we understand that they are looking for the experienced person. They're looking for an experienced person means proven track of record. Proven track of record means they're looking for experience, but not fresher. This position based on Chandigarh, and a candidate will be responsible for sales in Punjab and Haryana. Experience of selling similar product is essential. See, again, the same information repeated because in the first line, in the first sentence, they have already told the proven record, means the person. Okay, remuneration is comparable the best in the industry and will be linked to performance. Means the remuneration and incentive will based on the performance. Remuneration will be the best and incentive based on the performance. See, this is apply to this personal executive. This is how you can apply for this job. This is one of the vacancy announcement. Now, how do you respond? Application. How do you write application? There are there are two type of application. Reply letter for job, application letter for job. Yes. I mean to say that first one is you can reply or you can write an application through online mode or through email. You can write an application, you can apply for a job through email and write an application through email, or you may have to write the application through letter. Hardcover letter means you have to write the application on A4 sheet paper, A4 sheet paper, and you have to apply. You have to submit that along with your printed CV, printed resume. Or another is you can apply online while submitting your resume, submitting your resume and writing an email on the same, or you can directly apply through that company internal website. You can write an application in there if they have provided and upload your resume in their internal website. There are the different ways of writing application or applying for a job. And if you are applying for a job, especially for the government job, you have to write handwritten application and submit your application along with the resume and other required documents like your certificates, your uh, your proof of date of birth like government issued ID like PAN card, Aadhaar card. You have to submit along with those information, those documents for that job application. So here in this class, what I'm what I will tell you how you have to write job application and how you have to prepare your resume. And if you have Microsoft Office package 2365 version, you can see that how you can prepare your resume yourself through this. if you're looking at my screen, I'm sharing here. This is one of the format you can prepare a resume. And a resume, while preparing your resume, there is not certain format or certain models or certain formats of resume writing, but the approach or objective of resume writing is to make sure that your all information are provided in 1 or 2 pages. Means your resume won't be longer than 2 pages. First page, yeah, uploading your picture is an optional. While you are preparing resume, uploading the picture is an optional. This is not required. You can start with, yeah, of course you have to write your name first. After that, you have to write your contact number. What is your contact number and email address? Your name, phone number, and email address. Okay. This is one of the formats of resume writing. This is one of the, this is, as I said, resume writing, there is not certain format, but your objective or intention should be to provide the all information you have. Because if you are selected, for example, if you are shortlisted or selected for interview, at that time you have to take your all academic credentials like your certificates, your mark sheet, and other required documents along at the time of interview, or if you are joining that organization, they will verify it. And nowadays most of the organization, they will verify your all documents, your mark sheet, the mark sheet, your certificates, through which university you have pursued or you have passed out. They will verify it with your university. So which is why there is no chance of fraud or something like that. And in a resume you don't have to mention your percentage and all things, because if you are selected for the interview, you would have to carry for interview, or if you are selected for this job, and first your organization will verify those information if the documents or the information you are provided are authentic or not. So one of the format is your name should be in the first line, and a phone number and email address, which is why the recruiter or the people from HR department can easily reach out to you. So your name, phone number, and email are only required in the first. Then you can mention your career objective. And while you are preparing your resume, make sure that, please make sure that your career objective is more specific or not more than one sentence. Okay, this is one of the format I have written here to be associated with a reputed organization wherein I can give my best at the same time developing my knowledge and skills. So this is the resume for fresher. Example, this is the example of resume writing for fresher, which is why I have mentioned that I will give my best, and at the same time developing my skills. So both way, see, because you are giving your 100% to the organization, any reputed organization, and you are also enhancing your knowledge, you are developing your knowledge and skills. This is resume format for fresher. And an experience, since this is a for fresher, the experience won't come if you are not, if you do not have any experience. Do not mention even if this line experience. That's it. If you are writing your resume in this way, career objectives, experience, and you are not writing anything here.
सर प्लीज स्क्रीन शेयर कर दो अपना.
सर
Okay,
स्क्रीन
okay.
जिसने शेयर की है वो किसी और ने गलती से स्क्रीन शेयर कर दी थी तो आपकी अनपिन हो गई है.
अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है.
जिसकी में स्क्रीन नहीं आ रही वो काइंडली दोबारा पिन कर लो सर स्क्रीन।
और सब थोड़ा सा हिंदी भी बोल।
भाई इंग्लिश की क्लास है भाई, क्या कर रहे हो, कैसे ऐसे मानोगे।
Let's try, man. I hope that you can see my screen now.
Yes sir, it's visible now.
Yes, sir. Okay. This is one of the format of resume writing for fresher. And if you are fresher, and of course, mostly since you are in second semester, and you must be fresher most of. Well, you have to mention a career objective, then your academic qualification. Academic qualification for pursuing Bachelor of Computer Application, BCA from IGNOU. Or you can write expected to complete in 2025 or 2024. You can also write 2024, 25, whatever year you are expected to complete. If you would like to mention that, but this is not necessary. And completed 12th in management in 2019 from CBSE or any other board. 2020, 2021, with whatever year. You don't have to mention the name of your school like Kendriya Vidyalaya or this school. Yeah, of course, if you like to mention the Kendriya Vidyalaya or any other school, you can mention in there. So this is not mandatory. Academic qualification, and some student also mention the percentage. Completed 12th in management with 75%. You can also mention that your percentage here. This is also again optional. And after that comes the interest and skills. What is your interest? And our computer skills, including the MS Office, account package, Tally, C+, that you are from computer background. You have to mention that what are the programming language you know about, or the programming language like SQL, HTML, whatever they have. You can mention your quick learner, your skills, quick learner and interpersonal skills. You're a very quick learner and you have a multiple skills or interpersonal skills. You can do the multiple tasks at a time. And another skill is a dynamic team worker. You are comfortable to work in a team for the various tasks. Means your manager or the person is assigning you the different tasks, and you can do that without hesitation or without any problem. So you are dynamic team member or team worker. So these are the interests and skills. And training undergone. If you have done any sort of training, like if you have done any IELTS course, if you are doing IELTS from BC, British Council score or whatever band, and you can of course you can mention that. And my suggestion would be, if you are looking to improve your communication skills, especially English accent or English conversation, you may take a class from British Council or another IDB, IDF. That is also another organization. You can take that English course, English speaking course or IELTS course from those organizations, where you will know where you can enhance your English speaking ability. If you are just looking to improve your, if you are just looking to uh, speak in English, like if you are just looking for spoken English, you'd like to speak in English, don't join for those organizations like British Council and ITU, because they are very expensive. Plus, you don't understand their accent and way of teaching, because they are IELTS course is itself is high level of English conversation or English spoken class, where you not learn English, you are already know about the English and your basic format like making sentence or spoken or tense or other things. Once you have know about these, if you like to enhance or make your English in efficient level, you can join IELTS class. And I have found many students are interested for IELTS class. Or if you are preparing for job in abroad or higher education in abroad, like Australia, Canada, US, you have to do IELTS course. That is a different thing. So my suggestion would be if you are looking to improve or enhance your English spoken, you may join the IELTS course, and this will help you not only going abroad but also joining any good organization in India. Good organization means that MNCs, IT companies. And another training, if you have done like presentator as a representative from college at UN Summit, like any uh, cultural program or any summit or any conference you have attended, that you can mention that you are a presentator as a representative from your college, from your school, regarding the topic. If you have done so, you can mention there. That will be also your achievement. And at last comes your personal details, your father name, your date of birth, status. Any status, don't mention married and single. Don't mention single. You will never single double. You will be married or unmarried. You are unmarried and then married, or then the future decide. Okay. Then language is known. Yeah, I have mentioned two, so you have to mention your language is known, English, Hindi, and your interest or your hobbies. And here I would like to tell you one more thing. In hobbies, I have mentioned traveling, trekking, play crickets in hobbies. Above, I again mention the interest. See, the, each topic has different meaning. Above, interests and hobbies are somehow similar. Most of the time, interest and hobbies are similar. Your interest may be my hobbies, and my hobbies may be your interest. It depends on. Means interest, you have interest on doing something because you are looking to develop your career or you are getting benefits of that financially or any other way, because you are focused on that interest, because you are looking to develop your career towards your interest, or you are getting economic or financial benefits through that interest, or in future you may be getting hobbies. You are mostly the hobbies you are doing to enjoy, enjoy your time, enjoy your company with your friends, or enjoy the main motive of objective main objective of motive of hobbies will be to just entertain, enjoy. So traveling to the different places is your hobbies. Trekking, climbing to the mountains, rock climbing, that can be your hobbies because you enjoy that, you like to do that. Play cricket, this can be your hobbies. So but if someone else, if you are very interested in playing cricket and you like to develop your career through that, that can be your interest. And you will mention the uh, if you are participating any such cricket game, that such sports program organized by the different organization or different state level, you have to mention that. So as I said, your interest may be my hobbies or my hobby may be your interest. So it depends on how you define those things. And while mentioning, don't mix up the things. Means one more thing, while you are mentioning your hobbies, you have to better think about regarding the job. Like if you are if you are applying for a job like for research and development, quality and control, such department. If you are looking for a job or applying for the job for those department where you don't have to work as a team member, where you have to work as an individual and you have to research, you have to keen interest, you have to do certain type of research and use your mind most of the time instead of just being dynamic team members and
work with the team. So at that time, you can mention your hobbies as a playing chess. You can mention that if you are applying for a job like such as where you have to work as a team member, like junior engineer, junior web developer, or junior programmer, or whatever project work, whatever the project work, and you are joining as that position, you can mention you're playing cricket, football. You can mention that because those games are played in a team, and it means that you have a good bond of team, means you have a habit of doing any task in a team. Whereas in the jobs like research and development, quality and control, where uh, assistance or help from the team members is not required. So you can update your resume, depends on the type of job, depends on the nature of the job. Gradually you can update, or you can keep changing your job profile and job your resume. You can keep changing your resume, depends on the type of job and the nature of the job you are applying for. So that this is the one of the format of resume writing. But if you are experienced one, if you are already 2 3 years of experience, you can mention the experiences. What is the experiences you have? 2019 to 2022. Okay, what you did during this time, name of organization, your position, the designation, name of the organization. What is your position? Like you work as a junior engineer. What you did there? Mention the any three things you mentioned. Your job role, at least three job role you did in that organization. If since you are already experienced one, which is why your experience comes above the academic qualification. For experience one, the resume, in resume experience heading comes above the academic qualification. So that things you have to mention in your resume writing. So as I said earlier, if you have Google 3, sorry, Microsoft 365, you will also get the different format of resume writing in there. And based on your format, based on the format provided in here, you can prepare a resume yourself also. And there is one of the trend that the aforementioned information is provided by me are correct, and if found false or any counterfeit, I will be responsible for something like that. Blah blah. You don't have to mention that. That is not necessary. In resume, you not mention those information like your percentage, your academic qualification, जो भी आपका जो उसमें होगा, जब इंटरव्यू में जाओगे तब जाकर रिक्वायर्ड होगा उसमें। और जॉब सिलेक्शन आप सिलेक्टेड हो गए तो उस टाइम पे आपको वेरीफाई करेंगे कंपनी वाले. So you have to show your all academic credentials, academic portfolio at the time of interview or once you are selected. And once they are verified, once they verified and found that it's the legal or legitimate, they will continue with the organization. Otherwise, if you have submitted the incorrect or false documents, they will not allow you to continue this job. Now it has been more through the process, we can say. Most of the organization, they are through the process, means they verify those on information. And next one is about group discussion. In group discussion topic, I will just focus on the language part. Please go through the book yourself. I will just telling you what are the language focus you have to consider. You have to be careful while you are in the group discussion. And a group discussion is another process of staffing. This is the one of the process of selecting an employee. First, you apply application letter and a resume is the first process. And after that, you may have a group discussion. Means if they have to select the candidate who have ability to speak in front of the people, or the person has a confidence of speaking publicly or in front of some other people. In order to check that kind of confidence, they may conduct the group discussion, and especially the job where you have to work as a team member, they will have job group discussion. As I said earlier, the job like research and development, quality and control, in those type of job, you don't have, the organization may not have this part of uh, staffing, this part of selection procedure. They won't have group discussion. Okay, in group discussion, either this can be for job interview, or this can be for the job selection, or employee selection, or staffing, or any other type of discussion, group discussion, any type of debates you are participating. And these are the some certain words or languages you have to consider, you have to keep in your mind while you are in a group discussion, in a GD. First, you have to state an opinion. What is your opinion? And while you are stating your opinion, while you're telling your ideas, or in your information, or your perspectives, your views, you have to tell. It seems to me it's a positive approach for that. It seems to me, in my view, I tend to think that it is obvious that the point you have said is correct, but this is how you can start. I believe that Mr. Gupta has I believe the agenda Mr. Gupta has presented are correct, because we can implement those agendas right away with the help of those. This is how you can begin your communication, begin your opinion. Clearly, uh, clearly, as said in the agenda, we can follow them. Clearly, you can say that if you are stating your opinion. And while you have to interrupt, while you have to interrupt the person, the speaker, or the someone else is just speaking that you cannot believe or you cannot agree. This is how you can start with, excuse me, may I ask for the clarification on the certain this. Excuse me. While you are interrupting, you have to little bit louder while pronouncing the first word, like excuse me should be audible to the people who are in the GD. Okay, a bit louder. If may I interrupt? Okay, if may I interrupt? This is how you have to speak a bit louder, because you are seeking your attraction, means you are looking for your attraction, means you are seeking to share something. So you have to interrupt with a bit louder voice. It doesn't mean that you have to shout, but a bit louder. So I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Yeah, I Mr. Gupta, or Mr. Vikas, sorry to interrupt, but this is how you have to interrupt. If the person is just telling and is just not letting you to speak, this is, at that point you can say, I'm sorry to interrupt, polite word, sorry, and handing the interruption. See, you are stating your opinion, you are telling your point of view, and someone is trying to interrupt you, the you are not yet completed your point of view. So that, I'm sorry, please let me finish. Sorry, I'll let you, I'll allow you to ask your question, but please let me complete my opinion. Like, if I speak what I'm saying, if if may I finish what I'm saying, this is how you can handle the interruption. Could you please allow me to complete what I'm saying? Could you please allow me a minute or 30 seconds more to complete my point of view? So this is how you can handle the interruption. Moving to the discussion. While the moving discussion is ongoing, this is at that time you can start your sentences like, can you go and think about how the people are suffered from this type of. See, I think we should now move and consider. You already discussed the certain agendas, and out of the possible solution provided by the people in that meeting, in that group discussion. So you have to focus on the, I think we have to we have to consider the agenda number three more importantly, because which can address our problem, address the problem right away, and then slowly we go to the point number or agenda number two. This is how you can speak on. Like if you are agree in a group discussion, someone has told us, someone has shared the information or opinion, you agree, and you can say I totally agree. Yeah, this is what I was also exactly thinking about, and then I wanted to tell this expressing the disagreement. If you're not agree, I don't agree at all, I totally disagree, I think quite different on this. Yeah, I respect his or her opinion on that, but I think quite different. This is how you can start your sentence while you are expressing the disagreement. And checking the comprehension. Comprehension means if I understood this correctly, like probing. It's kind of probing or reformulating. If I understood this correctly, Mr. Vikas, and you wanted to tell that this way we can solve the problem, right? This is how you can check the comprehension. Are you saying, you can say, are you saying that this is how? And I'm making a suggestion. If you have any suggestion, recommendation, I would suggest that I would like to tell you that why don't we go for this? This is how. Why don't we go for that? And then while you are giving the suggestion in a question sentence, did you know that this is how your tone will be somehow different? Did you know that you could also save your money by saving, or did you know that you could also save your money for investing in those things? And there is in fact there is no loss at all for you, because our company will bear that. Our company manage, we have a certain manager, certain we have a team, or we have teams, we have different teams who work on that. Did you know that? This is how you can give it the suggestion to your customer clients, or in a group discussion, I mean to say that. In a group, this is the example, the language focus in group discussion we talked about. And the last one, I would just like to tell you about the managing organizational structure. This is not that much important point of view for examination. But yes, there are the certain techniques or certain things we have to consider to define a manager or any successful organization's management structure management. How any organization, there are very few organizations in the world are very successful, like Apple, Microsoft, Google. These organizations are quite successful than thousands of organizations in the world, thousands of multinational organizations in the world, because they do have a very good management and a very excellent managers. It doesn't mean that they are perfect, but yes, they are doing their excellent, which is why they are keeping their organization in the top of the list, and uh, make able to hear their organization to the people. Means we are listening to them, and we are also intent to join those organizations as as beginning as a career. So what are the things they are doing? Means in order to have a good management, in order to have a good manager, what are the ability, what are the things to influence, to motivate the people? First one is confidence. If the person is well knowledge, or is a good knowledge about the certain things, means the person is expert in his or her doing, competence is required to have to influence and lead any task, like ability to do the job successfully, doing the job better than expected. Means what is the expectation and what is your achievement better than expectation. And a discretion is another thing, like you have such kind of ability to differentiate between what is good, what is bad, and what is the right way of doing. Distinguish means there may be the certain situation that you may not strictly follow your organization, but for
for ultimately for long-term perspectives of your organization or your career, sorry, you have to distinguish, you have such type of ability, what is good, what is bad, what is the right way of doing. If someone is doing wrong, you should not do that. Means always in the shortcut there will be wrong. And this attitude, I'm sorry. Okay. Third one is attitude, your ability to maintain the positive attitude and even in the negative situation. Your organization is a loss for your organization, but you have to still uh, look for the positive aspect or the positive approach, what you can do in the future. That kind of ability should have a manager. And likewise, another influence to lead is honesty and openness. Ability to stand for the principle. And what is the principle of your organization? What is the theory, or what is the principle, or what is your job, in fact, your job principle, career principle. And appreciate and disapprove without bias and prejudice. Means understanding the situation, like if you have to take a leave, and this is really important, and you go to your manager and you ask for the leave, and then the manager has said that you just took a leave a week ago, and then now there is an emergency situation and the manager is not permitting for the leave, or he approved for the leave. How do you think? See, if the manager is approve the leave, understanding your situation, even though there is a very tough situation, like there is a shortage of employee or staffing, this is how this is depends on you. How do you take that? If the manager is so, ability to appreciate, disapprove without any bias, or the manager is just allowing the lead for ladies employee or gents only, or the person who are very close to him or something like that. So this type of uh, quality should be with the manager: honesty and openness. And most important is communication, and communication makes everything perfect. In fact, interaction, even if the person is excellent and have the higher phd in terms of the qualification, but it does not, if the person does not have the good communication skills, the person cannot be very successful. Everything we do nowadays is based on our interaction. Every job, everywhere we go, that needs the interaction. So effective communication: convey the decision without being rude, listen to everyone without hierarchical blockage, or deal with everyone sensitively. So these are the things to consider while you are communicating. Uh, and still, I would like to add one more thing. Still, in our country, still means it has been more than 50 years. We have already maybe more than 70 years, in fact. We do not have a colony, means we have already kicked away them out of India, and still we have still an impression that if person is able to speak in English, have a good communication. It's not. This is incorrect. If you have, means in order to have a good communication skill, is the first thing is the knowledge about something, either the English or Hindi or French or Spanish is the method of communication. So always apply or always use the communication, means method of language, in which you are an expert, other than you are learning. If you are learning, yeah, of course you have to do. But if you have in a position of management or anything, and if you do not know more about the other language, and while you are communicating or while you are speaking or presenting your paper, use the language in which you are expert in. And if you are not expert in that language, and you need that language to expertise, and you have to, of course, you have to learn that, and then you can give your good presentation, or you can, this is how you can develop your confidence also. So communication plays a very important role in order to have a good in order to become a good management team or manager, we can say. So this is how we came to the end of the block one. And one more thing, I would request you, all these trends, please go through the book, and there are lots of examples, and I have missed so many things from your block one. Please go through, and if you have any questions, you can ask me tomorrow. We have another session from block two, and I would go through the block two also. If you have any questions, you can ask, and if I have missed any information, yeah, of course, we cannot go through the book in 2 hours. One book we have to complete in 2 hours, so it won't be possible to anyone to cover all the topic. We have to skip so many things. So this is how came to the end of my speech. Now you can say, if you have any questions or any opinion you would like to tell, you would like to add, which I have missed, you can tell. And any doubts, any questions, you can ask me. Now this is your time. I'm stop sharing my screen. And those who have not mentioned your name and enrollment number, do mention. But if you have already done, you don't have to re-enter your name and enrollment number in message box. And I will answer the question from here if you have asked any question. Now I will read the question. सबको मेल आया था गेट, हाँ मेल आया था, तभी तो आपने ज्वाइन करे
सर।
हाँ जी
सर ये मेल की प्रॉब्लम है सर, जब मैंने तो वेबसाइट से ज्वाइन करा है तो पर हमें मेल नहीं आई है। तो
अच्छा।
हमें 2 शेड्यूल्स मिले थे, शेड्यूल 1 शेड्यूल 2।
अच्छा।
तो फिर हमें मेल आई नहीं। तो अगर हम गलत शेड्यूल में है और हमने अपना रोल नंबर वगैरह डाल दिया तो वो हमारा अटेंडेंस काउंट होगी कि नहीं होगी?
जी जी बिल्कुल। मैं क्या करता हूँ कि जैसे जो स्टूडेंट दूसरे बैच से ज्वाइन करे, उनका मतलब नीचे नाम और इनरोलमेंट और प्रेजेंट मेंशन कर देता हूँ।
हाँ जी सर, थैंक यू सर।
वेलकम, थैंक यू, ताकि आपको अटेंडेंस में कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो।
हाँ जी, थैंक यू सो मच सर, ये डाउट था बस।
सर मैं भी गया था कल मेरिट, तो वहाँ पे मतलब मेरे से मेल लिया था,
अच्छा
बट कह रहे थे शाम तक में आ जाएगा मेल, पर आया नहीं था अभी तक।
अच्छा। तो अभी इसके बाद आपके शायद रितिका मैम के साथ क्लास है ना, इसके बाद?
यस मैम।
और
यस
वो
सर।
एग्जैक्टली इग्नू मतलब मेरिट से ही है, उनसे
यस
एक बार
सर।
पूछ लेना डाउट।
सर
ओके सर।
अर्चना मैम के साथ क्लास है सर।
I have a question, sir.
अर्चना मैम के साथ क्लास है।
सर पीपीटी शेयर कर देना।
ओके श्योर।
भाई मैं व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप की लिंक दे दूंगा, आप उसमें आ जाना, वहाँ पे मैं आपको दे दूंगा।
हाय पल्लवी, आप पूछो।
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. I'm Pallavi, and I have a doubt in communication skills from Unit 1. So that was the second point, barrier to communication. So can you describe the again